What if I told you that everything you think you know about death is a lie? Take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs. Hold it for a moment. Now, imagine this is your last. The room around you begins to blur, the walls dissolving into shadow. The familiar fades, unraveling into something vast and unknowable. This is not a dream. This is not a metaphor. This is the threshold, the doorway between worlds. The greatest mystery of existence is unfolding before you. Are you ready to step beyond the veil? Most fear death. But what if death is not an end? What if, instead of an abyss, it is a passage, a journey far more profound than anything you've ever imagined? For over 1,000 years, the Tibetan masters have whispered the truth that many refuse to see. They left behind a guide, a map through the afterlife, the Bardo, the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But make no mistake, this is not a text about dying. This is a manual for liberation, a set of instructions for navigating the most critical transition of your existence. The question is, will you listen? Tonight, you will walk this path. You will stand at the threshold of the clear light, where all illusions dissolve. You will enter the realm of visions, where the mind's shadows take form. And you will feel the pull of rebirth, where your choices, conscious or not, determine your next life. But be warned, once you begin this journey, there is no turning back. You are about to confront the ultimate reality, one that may change everything you believe about life, death, and the nature of your very being. The first gate, the moment of death. The room around you fades. The echoes of the world you once knew dissolve into silence. Your body lies still, a hollow vessel, yet you remain. The final breath has passed your lips, but something stirs beyond the confines of flesh and bone. The weight of existence has lifted, and now you stand at the threshold of something vast, something incomprehensible. And then, a blinding light, brilliant, infinite. It is not the sun, not a beacon in the dark, but something more. It engulfs everything, yet it is nothing. It does not shine upon you, it emerges from you. The clear light, the essence of all things, the fundamental reality beyond illusion. For a fleeting moment, you are free, weightless, boundless, unshackled from the burdens of the material world. Fear, pain, identity, these were illusions, and now they are gone. You feel it, a knowing deeper than thought, older than time itself. This is your chance. If you recognize this light, if you merge with it, you will be liberated, breaking free from the endless cycle of birth and death. No more suffering, no more wandering through lifetimes of longing. Just pure awareness, infinite and whole. But then, something within you resists. A hesitation, a flicker of doubt. The light is too much, too vast, too overwhelming. It erases everything you once knew, everything that made you you. You were never taught to embrace the unknown, only to fear it. And fear calls you back. A shadow forms within the brilliance. Your mind, shaped by lifetimes of attachment, recoils. Your past identities, your desires, your unfinished stories, they pull at you, whispering, "Not yet, not like this." And just like that, the moment slips away. The light begins to fade. The weight returns. You feel yourself falling, descending into the next phase of the journey. The Bardos await, filled with visions and echoes of all that you have been, all that you have feared, all that you have yet to understand. You had a chance for ultimate freedom, but like countless others before you, you turned away. The second gate, the realm of visions. The light dims, and in its place a kaleidoscope of images swirls around you, shapes shifting, forms emerging from the shadows. At first, they are beautiful, luminous beings with radiant halos, whispering truths too vast for mortal ears. They are the peaceful deities, the manifestations of wisdom and compassion. They extend their hands, offering you a way forward. You step closer, drawn to their radiance. Their forms shimmer like reflections on water, constantly shifting, yet profoundly serene. Their eyes hold an infinite knowing, as if they see through the layers of your existence, all your past lives, all your choices, all your hidden truths. They do not speak in words, but their presence is a language of its own. A language of boundless acceptance, a silent invitation to let go. But then, darkness. A tremor ripples through the void, distorting the luminous figures. The serenity fractures. Their faces begin to contort, twisting into grotesque masks of fury and despair. Their halos flicker, replaced by an eerie glow that pulses like dying embers. The air around you thickens. The whispering voices, once gentle, shift to a discordant chorus, each one cutting through you like a jagged blade. The beautiful forms crumble, dissolving into shadows. And from those shadows, new shapes emerge. Demons with flaming eyes, specters with grasping claws. They do not lunge or attack, but they loom, towering over you, exuding a silent menace. You feel their gaze pierce through you, peeling away the layers of self-deception, exposing the raw, unfiltered truth of your being. Every suppressed emotion, every buried fear, every wound you thought forgotten, they are all here, staring back at you. Panic sets in. Your pulse quickens, though you realize with dread that there is no longer a heart beating in your chest. What is this place? What are these creatures? The weight of their presence crushes you, pressing against you like an invisible force. The realm is thick with something unnameable, something suffocating. A realization dawns. Do not be deceived. These beings are not external, they are you. Every suppressed emotion, every unacknowledged truth, every regret you buried deep inside, they have taken form, demanding to be seen. The peaceful deities were never separate from you, just as these wrathful ones are not. They are merely two faces of the same mind, two sides of the same soul. Carl Jung once wrote, "Gods and demons are projections of the unconscious, powerful and inescapable until understood as parts of ourselves." And here in the Bardo of visions, you face that inescapable truth. You are your own judge, your own tormentor, your own salvation. The landscape shifts beneath you, twisting like a living thing. The deities, both luminous and wrathful, flicker in and out of existence as though waiting for you to make a choice. The question is no longer whether they exist. The question is whether you will recognize them for what they truly are. What will you do? Will you recognize these visions as mere reflections of your mind? Or will you flee in terror, binding yourself deeper into the illusions of suffering? You try to step back, but the landscape shifts with you. The ground beneath you is no longer solid. It is liquid, then air, then fire. You are untethered, floating in a vast expanse of shifting nightmares and forgotten dreams. The peaceful figures flicker in and out of existence, as if waiting to be remembered. The wrathful ones grow more vivid, their presence more insistent. They call your name, though not with voices, but with the weight of every past mistake, every moment of selfishness, every unhealed wound you carried in life. One of them steps closer. Its eyes, black voids rimmed with flickering flames, lock onto yours. It raises a clawed hand, and suddenly you are no longer in the Bardo. You are in a memory. A moment from your past unravels before you, more real than a dream, more vivid than life itself. Perhaps it is a moment of betrayal, a time when you hurt someone you loved. Perhaps it is a failure, a choice you regret. Perhaps it is something darker, something you buried so deeply that you had convinced yourself it was never there at all. The wrathful being is no longer a demon, no longer a deity. It is a mirror, showing you the raw, unfiltered truth of your own soul. Your instinct is to turn away, to run, but there is nowhere to go. and so you are forced to watch. The moment plays out in its entirety. The look in their eyes when you abandoned them. The words you should have said, but never did. The consequences of choices made without wisdom, without compassion. And the worst part? You feel it all. Every ounce of pain you inflicted, every thread of regret you tried to suppress. Here, in the Bardo, there is no buffer between action and consequence. You are forced to experience the weight of your own soul. This is the lesson of the Bardo of visions. Everything you see here, everything you fear, it is all a projection of your own mind. The luminous figures that guided you moments ago, they were your wisdom, your compassion, the kindness you cultivated in life. The monstrous beings that tower over you now, they are your shadow, the aspects of yourself you refuse to confront. And yet, they are not here to punish you. They are here to be acknowledged, to be understood, to be freed. But will you free them? The choice is yours. If you recognize these beings for what they are, mere reflections, mere fragments of your own consciousness, you can dissolve them. You can reclaim the light. The peaceful deities will return, not as external saviors, but as aspects of your own awakening mind. The demons will fade, not as vanquished enemies, but as integrated parts of your soul. But if you give in to fear, if you allow yourself to be consumed by these visions, you will remain bound. The illusions will solidify. The wrathful beings will become more real, more terrifying. And soon you will forget that they were ever illusions at all. You will wander deeper into the Bardos, pulled further away from liberation, further into the cycle of rebirth. Somewhere, beyond the torment of this realm, a voice calls to you, not with words, but with awareness, a reminder that choice still exists. And so I ask you now, what will you do? Will you face yourself? Will you hold your ground and acknowledge every fear, every wound, every forgotten part of your soul? Or will you turn away, allowing these visions to dictate your fate? A deeper truth begins to take shape. These beings, these wrathful figures, are offering you something, a key, not to escape, but to transform. If you can accept them, embrace them, integrate them, you will no longer be ruled by fear. Your mind hesitates, but your soul knows. This is the moment of reckoning. Choose wisely, because in the Bardo, choice is the only power you have left. You close your eyes, take a breath. If breath is still something that belongs to you, you reach within, searching for the part of you that knows, the part that has always known. Slowly, you open your eyes once more, and the vision shifts. The wrathful beings flicker. Their monstrous forms waver, no longer fixed, no longer absolute. A realization washes over you. They are not here to consume you. They are waiting to be seen. And so, for the first time, you do not look away. You face them. And in doing so, the illusion begins to break. The third gate, the pull of rebirth. You have lingered too long. The visions fade, dissolving into nothingness, but you are not free. The silence is deceptive, for something stirs beneath it, a current, unseen yet undeniable, pulling you forward. It is not an external force, not the decree of some celestial being. No divine hand pushes you toward your fate. This is something far more intimate, far more inexorable. It is karma, the weight of every thought, every action, every desire you carried in life, woven into the very fabric of your existence. You are drifting, but not aimlessly. Look closely. Before you, doorways begin to appear, each one a gateway to another life. Their forms flicker and shift, shaped not by random chance, but by the echoes of your past. They are reflections, projections of all you have been, all you have done, all you have yet to resolve. If you lived in anger, you may find yourself drawn toward a world of conflict. a life where struggle is your only constant. If you wielded power with arrogance, you may awaken bound by the very chains you once placed upon others. If you walk the path of wisdom, your next existence may be illuminated, filled with opportunities for higher understanding. But you are not choosing, you are being pulled. The momentum of your own mind is dragging you forward, and the force is growing stronger. The swirling visions blur into a torrent, a storm of emotion and memory. The weight of lifetimes presses upon you, shaping your trajectory like the river shapes the stone. You are drawn toward a singular doorway, a path carved by your own thoughts, your own hands. And yet, even now, there is still a chance. A final, fleeting moment before you cross the threshold. A sliver of clarity, thin as a breath, where you can see through the illusion, where you can wake up. But will you? Most do not. Most remain blind, unaware that they are choosing at all. They mistake the pull of karma for fate. They surrender to the storm, believing they have no control. And so, the cycle continues. Birth, death, rebirth. Again and again, trapped within the great wheel of samsara. But you have been given something rare, a glimpse behind the curtain, a chance to understand what others cannot. And so I ask you, will you wake up? Or will you let yourself be carried away once more into the ever-turning wheel of existence? Breaking the cycle, the path to liberation. If there is one lesson the Bardo teaches, it is this: you do not have to wait until death to prepare for death. Life itself is filled with mini-deaths, transitions that mirror the Bardos. Every ending, every heartbreak, every transformation, they are all rehearsals for the ultimate passage. The loss of a loved one, the shattering of old beliefs, the shedding of identities. These are echoes of the great transition that awaits you. The question is not whether you will face them, but how. Will you resist? Will you cling to illusions? Or will you meet them with clarity, with presence, with understanding? So how do you prepare? Meditate on impermanence. See through the illusion of permanence and attachment. Nothing lasts. Not your joys, not your pain, not even your identity. Accept this truth, and you will no longer fear its arrival. Face your fears now. What you run from in life will chase you in death. Every suppressed regret, every unspoken truth will rise again in the Bardos. Meet them now, before they take shape in the void. Cultivate compassion. A heart filled with love recognizes itself in every form, peaceful or wrathful. If you see only enemies, only demons, it is because you have yet to embrace your own shadows. Seek the clear light in life. It is not distant. It is not reserved for saints or sages. It is here, in every moment of stillness, in every breath of awareness. Through deep meditation, glimpse the luminous reality beyond illusion, so that when the final moment comes, you will not turn away. You have been given something rare, a glimpse behind the curtain. You know that death is not an end, but a passage. You know that you are shaping your next existence in this very moment. So choose the ultimate truth. Liberation is possible, but only if you choose it. Not later, not after death. Now, so I ask you once more, when the final breath comes, will you be ready? Death is not the end, it is a doorway. And now you hold the key. If this journey has stirred something in you, if a part of you feels that familiar pull toward awakening, do not ignore it. The Bardos are not distant realms. They are here, now, in this moment. The only question left is, what will you do with this knowledge?